There are several ways you can add a material to your model in COMSOL Multiphysics. In versions 5.0 and later, you can add materials at the global level and utilize material links to refer to the global materials you specify. This can make it easier and quicker to specify materials amongst different components in a model. Materials can also be added at the local level, particularly if one component's domain deviates from the other components in a model. So you can see here we have a version of the mixer tutorial model opened up. And in this demonstration, we have 3 components showing different types of mixing tank geometries. So these tanks are going to actually be using a lot of the same materials. So instead of going under each component individually, specifying the materials and selecting the geometry they apply to, we can actually add the materials globally and then link to them within each component. So to start off, we would need to add the materials globally, which we can do by right-clicking the Global Materials node and selecting Add Material, or by going under the Materials tab and clicking the button there. So let's choose a few different materials for the tank. Let's select steel and then add that to Global Materials. And also let's throw in some plastic materials of construction for the tank as well. We can select and add polypropylene, as well as high-density polyethylene. So when we add materials under the Global Materials node, this means that these materials are available throughout the entire model. If we have materials added under a local materials node, then they are only available for the respective component. So since water is actually going to be used in all of them as well, we can go ahead and move that up under the Global Materials node. Now, in order to link to these materials, we can go under the respective components materials node, select it, right-click, and select Material Link. And here in the Material Link Settings window, we can see the Geometric Entity selection, and this is where we would choose the parts of the geometry the material would be applied to. For now, it is set to all domains, which is fine because this will be modified as we add more materials. Under Link Settings, we specify the actual material to link to, and for now it's water, which is also fine. Under Material Contents, we have a list of all of the properties of the material, and if desired, you can also change the appearance to reflect that of the material being applied to. So this water is for the fluid inside the tank, but now let's actually choose the material for the tank itself. And the outside of the tank initially I have hidden here, so we can go ahead and reset the hiding of these parts of the geometry and just hide a few boundaries so we can still see inside of the tank. Again, I can just right-click and add the material link. And this time I can add the tank domain. Let's choose steel this time. And then also change the appearance. Again, this is only if you wish to the respective class of materials it belongs. So with that, we're all set with this component. So now we can move on to component 2. So let's again add a material link. Again, all the domains are selected, and initially the material we are linking to is water, again, which is fine. And we change the appearance again to water. So now again, I will hide similar parts of the geometry as I did before. And we can add that second material link and choose the tank domain. And this time, let's use polypropylene as the material and leave the appearance set to plastic. Now let's also choose some different materials of construction for the impeller shaft as well as the anchor impeller. So I can add another link. choose the impeller shaft itself, as well as the hubs. Change the material to steel. And then since the actual blades of the anchor impeller are boundaries, we can add a fourth material link. Change the geometry level to boundary. Select those blades. And again, change the material to steel. So this is the great thing with global materials. We can use them for any level of geometry. When I add the material globally, I am free to apply it to domains, boundaries, edges, points, whatever you wish. Also, for any of these properties, you can, just as you would normally, edit them, and the properties and their values are all updated throughout the entire modeling workflow. So now you can see how using global materials and material links have advantages over using local materials. And this is especially the case when your model contains multiple components.